Well, it truly were impressive, India, in the last two games, especially today. Rob, Michael and Nasser with me here in London. Let's head straight to Chennai, though, and get a word from the Indian perspective. Dinesh Karthik, I mean, not just this game, but the last two games to come back from behind, having lost both tosses to win the series, is a big tick in India's box going forward.
Absolutely. I think, England had won 8 series on the trot. India won 7 on the trot. Someone had to go down. It was England. But hats off to India. I think just the way, the one thing that Virat has done consistently is lose tosses, but still finding a way to win from there is just fabulous. So, hats off to them in terms of the way they approach their batting, the changes they've made. That's the difference between winning and losing. When you make so many changes, you don't win. It always looks like you're doing too many things. When you win, it always looks very clever. And this time, definitely, India has looked a cleverer team. Coming from behind and winning this series, as they have done, how much confidence does that give the side going forward? Bearing in mind the World T20 is still a distance away. Do you still remember these moments, these big games that you've won as a team, and use that to your advantage? Oh, absolutely. I think the best part about playing this series is the fact that now India will know if they come up against England in a semi-finals or a finals, they will know their plan. And Adil Rashid will start if a Virat Kohli and Rohit is batting. And then you have pace through the middle. So they'll be aware of these things. So the same thing applies for England as well. They know what a Bhuvi can do. They know what a Hardik can do. So that's been the biggest plus. Yes, they will take a lot of positive, a lot of confidence from this series. But most importantly, the matchups that they keep talking about is now there for everybody to see. They know which bowler is going to come up against whom, so they can prepare well against each other. And just like this series, if we ever get a semi-finals or a finals where India is playing England, it's going to be a mouth-watering contest. What impressed you with India today, Nas? I mean, the batting was obviously eye-catching, but that 13th over from Bhuvaneshwar Kumar.
Yeah, in a game that's been dominated by bat, for him to bowl the way he did, and he started to set the tone, getting the wicket to Roy, but then came back when Kohli needed a wicket and needed a couple of good overs. What impressed me was something that Dinesh mentioned there, actually, about the future, actually happened in this game, about learning about your matchups. Ath did a really good piece of the cart with Hardik Pandya. This is how they're going to bowl at you, Hardik. You know that now. What are you going to do about it? They're going to bowl everything waist high and above. And Hardik Pandya has obviously assessed that and worked on his game and said, we are going to take on it. I am going to take on every single short ball. And that is the game. That people work you out, you have to go away and improve and come back. And that was absolutely excellent today. I thought it was a brilliant series. I thought this game in particular, the skill from the batsman, the Jordan catch, and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar's bowling, that is some high-skill stuff. Come back to Bhuvaneshwar in a moment, but in terms of matchups and learning from them, have England learnt about their matchups when England are batting and who that they can put in next? Can they fiddle around with the batting order to try and keep left-handers away from the likes of Thakur?
I reckon at this point now, there's more questions about England's batting than there were at the start of the series because of those things. So how can they do it? It's not easy with that makeup, how they do it. And also, the one thing, and again, I don't exactly know the answer to this, but somehow you've got to get more out of Ben Stokes. Him coming in there, it's not like he's someone that can't do it. This is the bloke who was the player of the IPL. Out of everyone, not just the England players there, the first year of it, when he played for the Chennai side, when they were a different name, the Rising Pune Supergiants, whatever it was, he was the best player of the whole thing. So he can play this game, and that was when he batted up the order a bit. So somehow there's a few questions because they just run out of steam. If Butler gets runs, that's fine. If the top 3 or 4 get runs, they just run out of steam, though, as soon as that lot are out.
In terms of learning from little things and little matchups, I thought Dinesh again made an excellent point, which England should probably try and listen to or read. If they are coming up against Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and he's doing this cutters with his wrist, don't try and hit him for 6, try and hit him for 4.
Well, he bowled superbly today, didn't he, as Nasser says. And in a way, you look at him and think, why is he so good? He's not express pace. He's not a big hooping swinger of the ball. You wouldn't say that he's got enormous variations, but it's kind of subtle variations. And not just one of them, but a multitude of small varieties. He can bowl one that slides out that way and one that slides out this way. I think he keeps batsmen guessing. He bowls a lot of different deliveries. And I think he's a big plus for India in this series because he's had a ropey time with injuries. there was some thought maybe that he's not quite the bowler that he was. I think we've seen in this series he's got better and better as he's come through. And remember that Bumrah is to come back and Shami is to come back. So when you put Bhuvaneshwar in with that, that is a pretty strong make-up to India's side with Jadeja to come back in as well. So they'll fancy their chances of defending totals with Bhuvi bowling as he is and Bumrah and Shami to come back.